CJI 2, the tragedy of the tape. Instead of tale of the tape, we're going to be going into why this was such a big failure. I'm not here to talk about Luke Griffith's underwhelming performance. I'm not here to talk about how Dorian Oliveras made a name for himself. I'm here to talk about how Flow Grappling removed all replays of day 1 and day 2 of CJI 2, just so people couldn't go back and rewatch the bullshit ending. It was clearly a setup for B Team and New Wave to make it into the finals, just for the plot, you know, New Wave, B Team, all the drama they had, Danaher Death Squad, etc., etc. It was very clear that in the rules, in the bracket selection, in the moments where it came down to the inches and the ref calls and the negative points and the stalling and this and that, it was really clear that that was the point all along. And we're going to watch a clip from Craig that clearly exhibits how even he knew that the matches were getting monotonous, and we're going to get into exactly what that entails. But take a look.
Make money. So today, if you get a submission and you're in the fucking teams event, you get $50,000 US. Clearly, submitting someone for your team did not fucking work yesterday. If all you care about is money, then go fucking run a team. We've got $750,000 extra in the budget. $50,000 US per scalp you take today. Guys, this is the stage. Put on a fucking show. Finish a bunch of people.
Yeah, so you can just tell from Craig's demeanor, I really need not to play the video to its conclusion, but the event was getting extremely monotonous in the sense that it was a matter of, yes, David versus the Goliath quintet. That is exciting, and that's what a lot of people will tell you with these sort of rules. But the reality was we had, more often than not, guard retention textbook exhibits of someone like Ethan Krellinson or someone like Joseph Chen, who can be exciting grapplers in their own contexts and get into, you know, leg lock shootouts and, you know, these crazy scrambles and Joseph's tripod passing. But when Joseph has to go against someone who is significantly heavier than him, and same with Ethan Krellinston, most people that are not extremely talented, with the exception of Dorian Oliveras, because he's a freak athlete at a smaller weight class, will just give you a, okay, try to pass my guard, and, you know, the big guy will try to go north-south, and, you know, heavy collar ties in the beginning, small guy will pull guard. We saw that a countless amount of times this event. I myself understand that, yes, guard retention is an extremely nuanced skill with multiple facets, and that it really shouldn't be forsaken when it comes to the skill and technique breakdown of jiu-jitsu. But when it comes to an audience perspective, making it so that the ref doesn't call for stalling in situations that would make sense just for the context of B Team and New Wave to go ahead and make it into the finals. And I'm gonna do my best to show you on Instagram now Coach Danaher's reaction to this whole mess. Take a look. So
on points, the team.
So just some context, this was the point where they basically said, hey, it went to a judge's decision at first because they had one man standing, both each team. It was Nicky Rod and Luke Griffith. Nicky Rod was dominating the match from a points perspective, but no one got submitted, so they had to go to the judges' scorecards. It was honestly looking like Team New Wave was dominating, playing top position a lot more, and forcing B team guys like Joseph Chen and Chris Wojcik and whatnot to kind of just hang in there and, you know, try not to get submitted, which usually they get scored negatively for that kind of play style, and judges favor a more aggressive, top game oriented fashion when it comes to your game. They're both tied at this point. All the judges scored this match evenly for the points, which was a big upset from the crowd in general. And look at this. So in the case that there was one man standing at the end and that they tied on the scorecards in order to determine the draw, look what they have decided to do, and everyone's reaction.
Duel is a draw.
Nicky Ryan,
according to the established CJI 2 rule set, to determine the winner of the team duel, we go to the judges' decision and scorecards of the last individual match.
So all of a sudden, last individual match, Nicky Rod, again, scored higher than Luke Griffith. He got a throw in there. I think it was an Uchimata, if not just some sort of hip toss, really. Again, they deleted the replay. Wish I could analyze it a bit further, but he got a throw. He got some positional dominance as well. Couldn't finish the guy, but definitely put on a more dominant performance. We see here instantly New Wave member walking away. I'm not sure who that is. I think this is Dorian, Mika, Giancarlo, and then Luke Griffith. Who was the other guy? Oh, Wagner. Wagner, of course, is Wagner walking away. He was a forgettable member of their team, not gonna lie. Even Coach Danaher, we're gonna see his reaction in a second, his face of what happened. I saw the replay, and in the live stream, he literally rolled his eyes as soon as this happened, because he was clearly thinking, oh, it's some bullshit that they're gonna pull where they make up rules on the spot so that B team wins.
During the last individual match.
Look. He has that smirk on his face, and John Danaher is a man of few emotions. Everyone knows that. Exhibiting this much at a given time, it's clear to see what message he's trying to portray and read his thoughts.
All three judges.
Nicky Ryan obviously very
score
happy.
that final contest 10-8.
So again, Danaher's facial expressions, very rare, rare gems to come upon, but they're telling the whole story here that needs to be said.
They see it unanimously for the winner and the $1 million team tournament champions, Coach Nicky Ryan, Team B-Team.
If there's one thing that we don't need, it's going to be a fortune teller to tell us that Gordon Ryan is going to go ahead and post some shit on Instagram talking about the situation and how it's an outrage. So let's read this extremely long paragraph. Like I said, the entire reason I didn't take part in this event in any way, shape, or form was because I knew that the team competing in the tournament also picked everything from judges to production to commentators and would be corrupt. I knew the corruption from the start to finish would be remarkable, and Mr. Nice Guy, Crooked Craig, would do anything to ensure we lose. Here's the contract that the event's athletes signed, showing clearly that in the event of 5 eliminations, the winning team would be determined by whichever team won more bouts, which we did, as clearly seen on slide 4, which is a photo of the judges' scorecards. The contract and the rules we played by and prepared for clearly stated that in the event of 5 eliminations, the winning team is the team with 3 out of 5 winning athletes. The rule of last match win was nowhere in the event's athletes' agreements and was made up in order to fuck us out of a win we deserved. After stacking the brackets against us and making bullshit tap calls, in addition giving Nicky Fraud a 10-8 round for a single guard pass and holding a body lock for 2 minutes, only to give Dorian a 10-9 round after passing multiple times and literally surfing his knee on his opponent's face, is nothing short of comical. I knew from day one that there would be nothing but corruption, and per usual I was correct. There is nothing to do now, as the history books will only show winners and losers. But let it be known that per the rules, all of the event's athletes contractually agreed upon, we won the event. I hurt for the guys who gave it their all and were optimistic it would be fair. They are the ones who my heart hurts for. As for everyone asking why I wasn't involved, I didn't want to be a part of the circus as I'm not a clown. So Gordon Ryan calling a CJI to a circus. Let's see the slides that he has to present. So as we see here, Dorian Oliveira's 10-9 across the board. And then we also see the match between Luke Griffith and Nicky Rod, 10-8 across the board. This definitely is a very controversial decision. I agree with Gordon here. Dorian definitely performed more dominantly in comparison to Nicky Rod when it comes to his opponent. Ethan was trying to survive by the literal pinnacle of the definition. He, it was a matter of like, okay, Ethan, you only have 30 more seconds, bud. Just stay in there, hang in there. And again, it was one of those, okay, well, this guy's going to try to retain his guard and not get submitted and, a double elimination, wait until the next round. That's the best that was expected of Ethan, for sure. With Luke Griffith, we do understand that he's still relatively underdeveloped in his game. I believe Luke Griffith's game is going to look completely different in a year or two when he gets a little bit more refined. Can't say the same for someone like Giancarlo. Definitely, Luke was not struggling as much as Ethan was against Dorian. So again, big upset. Craig Jones doesn't even believe in his own event. After day one, he made a desperate YouTube short by offering $750,000 total, 50 apiece for submission, because the matches were becoming guard retention fests. It was a strategic chess game of the coaches choosing a big guy to bully a little guy or a little guy to tire out a big guy. And it just ended up being super boring. Very minimal submission encounters whatsoever. Yeah, lots of controversy with the judging and the way that the format was set up for the plot of New Wave and B Team going into the finals, and ultimately B Team coming out as the victors based on the randomized scoring they just came up with. So Craig officially posted this on his Instagram 3 hours ago at the time of this recording, tagging John Danaher in the caption. If there's one thing that Danaher can sniff out based on the facial expressions we saw after the winners were announced, it would be bullshit. And so saying again, New Wave is receiving $1 million, Gordon responds by saying, good, and reverse the decision, backwards, fuck. Gordon always sounds like one of those like southern dads at like a gas station, randomly smoking a cigar and like on a phone call where they're just insulting like an insurance company that overcharged them or something. If we just simply reflect on the fact that Ethan Krellinston, Joseph Chen, and Chris Wojcik were basically all retaining guard to save their lives the entire time and barely slipped past getting submitted just to move on to the next set of people and have a double elimination, I mean, it was clear to see those three guys were hanging on for dear life, right? And yes, Nicky Rod did have a good finals match, probably the best finals showing in general. Victor Hugo, I mean, I don't want to say he kind of sold the bag in the finals, but definitely, a underwhelming performance to say the least. And yes, Team New Wave, maybe they didn't have the best showings. Dorian Oliveira sure did show us why he deserves to be in the conversation for best pound for pound grappler, even though, he's new to this and it's quite impressive. And Giancarlo, he was probably one of, if not the best competitor in this whole thing, pound for pound or not. I believe the match results would have been much more clear if we had Giancarlo versus Nicky Rod, even though Giancarlo does weigh a few kilograms less, around 10 pounds. Luke Griffith, just extremely underdeveloped game for this level and this caliber of competition. It feels like he's nearly there and he has the right concepts, but the tightness and the way he transitions and flows and his fight IQ is not quite at the very top of competition level. And we've seen this a lot. Like if you see some of his WNO performances, his recent, matches in CJI 2, he's good, definitely good, no doubt in that. We saw, the underhook triangles that he was trying to get from close guard and whatnot in the very beginning, the first match. And it's some good stuff there. He's got some ingenuity for sure, but I believe he still has a lot to develop as far as fine-tuning his game, and that's fine. He's going to be, one of the most promising prospects in my prediction and outlook in the coming years. New Wave won, and that is my insight on it. Tell me what you think in the comments. Going to be making a video on Craig Jones and the super fight he had with Chael Sonnen. Make sure you catch that. If you like these videos and want more of them in the future, don't forget to press like and subscribe. Comment down below who you thought won, and until next time, you can always expect Gordon to be furious on his Instagram.